This content is personal experience, not medical advice. Please consult a qualified healthcare professional. Guest views are their own.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So glad to see all of your beautiful faces. So how many people here are vegan? All right, we got some vegans in the house, yeah? How many people would consider themselves to be raw vegan? All right, we got some raw vegans, yeah. Awesome, well, I am a raw vegan. I have been for 4 years, 100% raw. I started a YouTube channel years ago because I was in my process of going raw and doing juice fasting to clean out my gut, preparing myself to be a raw vegan. I started this YouTube channel and it started to get momentum, and people were subscribing and commenting and messaging me, and I started getting hundreds of comments and hundreds of messages from people a week. So I started to realize that people are really in need of help here. So I started to respond, and I started a coaching business to help people. I started having to charge $50 to get on the phone with people for an hour and support them with their process. How to go raw, how to heal, their health issues, how to lose weight. So that was how I became a coach. And today, I am a raw vegan coach specifically. I help hundreds and hundreds of people. So one of the things that I'm most proud of is my Raw Vegan Heroes membership, which is an online community. Currently we have 325 members in this community, and some of them are here today. Yeah. So the Raw Vegan Heroes membership is the way that I realized I could help the most people. So, it's an online community. People can access this online community from anywhere in the world. And that's the amazing thing. With technology today, we can be raw vegans anywhere in the world and feel that accountability and support from each other. Because when we go on a journey of healing, if we have health problems, if we are trying to change our diet and lifestyle for the better, we do need accountability and support. So having some place to go, like a community, is just so valuable. So that's why I started Raw Vegan Heroes, and I also started Raw Vegan Heroes as an accountability system for me. Because if I'm gonna go raw vegan, if I'm gonna go against the grain of society, if I'm gonna be someone who's doing something completely different, this isn't supported in the mainstream narrative anywhere, So if I'm gonna break free and think for myself, get out of the matrix, and be on my own kind of self-referenced mode of how to do life, how to eat, how to live, then I wanted a community around me. So I started this community to support myself, and now it's grown. Hundreds and hundreds of people from all over the world are part of this community. It's one of my greatest accomplishments. I'm very proud of it. That's the Raw Vegan Heroes community, and if you guys are interested, of course, you can check it out. I'm Raw Vegan Rising on YouTube, and my website is rawveganrising.com. So, very proud of the Raw Vegan Heroes community. I wanted to just start off by saying that the theme of this talk today, I wanted to talk about healing trauma and existential pain with a raw food diet. Because, look, we're all in this world, and we all come with trauma from our family lineage. We're born with trauma. It's not our fault. It's not like we've done anything wrong. We inherit trauma belief systems. It's like part of our gene expression. So not just like weak genetics, but like consciousness imprints. I believe raw food helps us clear that. Why? Because when we eat raw food, there's nowhere for us to hide. Have you ever noticed, if you're feeling emotional, you're having a hard day, or you're having a hard time or a hard week, something hard happened at work, the natural tendency is to want to numb out with alcohol or food or something like that. So if you decide to be a raw vegan, there's no numbing out with food. You're basically saying, I'm gonna just stand up for the truth here. I'm not going to give myself an out. If you don't give yourself an out, what happens? You have to come face to face with your traumas. The traumas that have been passed on to you from your family. Now that's not easy. It sucks, actually. It's hard. It's really hard work. Who wants to do that? Well, who wants to do that? Light workers? Warriors? Heroes? Excuse me. So yeah, it's not easy work, but as we can see on the planet today, there's a lot of forces working against truth. So right now, this is a perfect time in history to declare our personal sovereignty and say, yeah, I'm going to be someone to take on the healing of the family lineage. We heal the family lineage when we break the family cycle of traumas. And we can do that with the gentle guidance of raw food. Simply saying, I'm going to maintain a raw vegan diet is one of the ways that we can bring it face to face, face our fears. And my mission is to share the message of raw food for this type of healing, trauma, and the existential crisis of life. I first went vegan when I was 17 years old. It was 1990. And I came up in the world, I saw the world around me, and I said, wow, this sucks. This is crazy. The animals are being abused on mass scale. I instantly had to go vegan. So I did that as a kid. I was only 17, but it was out of pain. It was out of reaction of the trauma that's being perpetuated on this planet. So my going vegan was a response to trauma. And it took me years of trying to reconcile how to be a vegan in the world. It's not supported. People don't celebrate it. We're scoffed at. We're laughed at. When I first went vegan, there was no plant-based products in the store. It was 1990. There was margarine, hydrogenated margarine, and like one type of soy milk. And that was it. There was no vegan cheese, no vegan meat, nothing. So I had to pioneer this. I had to forge the way because I knew I had to do something for the pain that was happening on this planet. That was so painful for me. I had to internalize that. So what happened to me over the years, though, was that I internalized this struggle. And it became very toxic in ways. Like, how do you be a vegan in the world? I gave up at the age of 30. I gave up on being vegan. So I was strict vegan for like 12, 13 years. And then I gave up. It was too much to handle. And I said, listen, I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore. So I literally gave up. I had gotten to a point where I was examining my self-worth, truly examining my self-worth, and I said to myself, look, if I'm going to be a man in the world, if I'm going to heal my pain as a man, if I'm going to face my fear as a man, I have to reconcile this existential pain that I started feeling as a teenager that made me go vegan in the first place. I have to recommit to being vegan. I have to go raw vegan because I got to make this sustainable for real. I can't eat processed food. I gotta eat whole, unprocessed, natural food the way it's created from God. That's gonna give me the best chance of being a long-term vegan, somebody who can really do this work, healing the existential pain of life. And so I said, I'm taking it on. I'm gonna be a warrior for myself. I'm gonna be the man who is going to absolutely do this and face my fears. So for me, facing my fears meant going raw vegan. And I had never done that before. And I had been vegan for many years, but never raw, fully raw. So I took it on, and it has been an incredible healing journey, being a raw vegan. And people have come to me. I have my Raw Vegan Heroes group. I'm a coach, I'm a mentor. I help guide people through this existential crisis that we're really in. So I just wanted to, I wanted to just tell my story, like when I first decided to go raw, I was in this therapy session with my best friend and ex-wife at the time we were doing this therapy. And we were getting to the deeper layers of self-worth. My therapist was very talented, and she was helping us get to why we don't have the results we want in our life, why we struggle with perpetuating trauma and pain in our relationships, why we don't have the money, the success, the abundance we want in our life. And it's because of self-worth. We don't value ourselves truly deeply on a fundamental level. So this was when I decided for me to truly be in my self-worth, for me to truly claim I'm going to have an amazing life, I'm going to be in my personal leadership, I'm going to be an inspiring person, I'm going to do this work, heal myself, heal my family lineage, and face the existential crisis of life. Self-worth paved the way to claiming raw food. Raw food was part of that self-worth journey and part of that awakening. So My method for going raw vegan is really simple. So I know we got some raw vegans in here, but I break it down to like 3 simple steps. It's so easy. For anyone who's not a raw vegan, I just would say it's simple and amazing and wonderful. Step 1 is eliminate animal products. I know that could be a big one, but it's probably the best thing you can possibly do because we don't want to perpetuate trauma. So if we're taking the death into our own body, we're going to perpetuate that. So that's really the step 1 for breaking the family lineage trauma and facing our own existential crisis in life. Eliminating animal products is a huge liberation of our consciousness. 2 is just eliminate heated fats and cooked oils. I mean, literally, if you do that, you're like 90% of the way there. Eliminating heated fats is really what a raw vegan does. We're just not eating cooked fats. And the oxidative stress from cooked fats is one of the the biggest issues for inflammation in the body. So by doing that, we're going to have a huge awakening, like physically, and what that means for our body. So heated fats, number 2, and then really the final step, the final frontier is like eliminating cooked starches. If we eliminate the cooked starches, we are raw vegan. But it's the hardest part because potatoes and bread and rice and all those delicious starches that put the blood sugar up, and it's like a drug. Starch is like a drug. I still crave starch after 4 years raw. That's like the one thing, if I have a cheat meal, if I eat some cooked food, I'll have rice or sweet potato. That's what I do, starch. So if we just make the effort to go for the simple sugars instead of the starches, because the simple sugars are already instant available energy, there's no digestive burden on our body, and it helps us just stay at the highest energetic frequency and potential of our being. It's very healing. Also, when I work out at the gym, I love exercise. I think exercise is an important part of a good mindset for thriving in life. So what I've noticed, though, as a raw vegan who did a 40-day juice fast to start my journey, is that my body is so attuned. Like, I can put on muscle easier, I can be fit, I can recover. It makes exercise really, really enjoyable to be on raw food. I highly, highly recommend it. I couldn't recommend it enough. Raw food and exercise together is phenomenal. And the final step is really just committing to like 1 year. I say give it 1 year. If you eliminate the animal products, the heated fats, and the starches, you do a juice fast, rebuild your gut for 1 year on raw food, and see what that microbiome does on raw food. It'll change your life. It'll open up the spiritual connection to your divine purpose in a way you probably have never felt. And that's one of the most incredible benefits of raw food, is the connection that we feel. It just connects us with spirit and purpose and path. Like for me, when I went raw vegan, I started coaching people. I started people coming to me for guidance and assistance. It just opened up my destiny, my potential. That had never happened before. Raw food opened up something energetically in me. I wrote down on my notes, it gives you confidence. Raw food gives you confidence to just be in the world and do the dance with life as life needs you to perform and step up and say yes. If you're a raw vegan, you're hyper sober, you're hyper attuned, you're hyper aware. It gives you that confidence to just say yes and to go with the flow. Also, spiritual access to your higher self and your destiny. I mean, holy moly, is that like an incredible thing. Higher spiritual access to our own purpose and destiny. The only thing we need is to understand our purpose on this planet. If we can just live into our purpose, we're going to help create the magical world that we were destined to be part of. And if we don't take on that self-worth and heal the family trauma and the existential pain, we're not going to find our purpose. Our purpose is hidden, it's buried beneath the existential crisis that we're playing out over and over every day. So raw food is just a simple tool to help gently guide us to our purpose, to heal this world, Positivity from minimal digestion. How about that? Minimal digestion gives us the ability to be positive-minded. It's really that simple. If we're burdened by digesting cooked food and starches and animal products and cooked fats all the time, we're inundated with that. So positivity can explode when we simply have minimal digestion. And we are more microbiome than we are human. So we have 98% microbe DNA in our bodies. Like, what are we creating? Who are we feeding? Who are we, deciding we are going to be with the foods we eat? Because we're creating that microbiome to then generate the results of our consciousness and who we are in the world. In the mainstream narrative. Mainstream narrative is psychopathic, really, in today's world. So we have to break free from the matrix. If we are going to be powerful leaders and we're going to break free from the matrix of mind control through media and through the food narrative and the medical narrative, raw food does it. It helps us break free. Like waking up in the matrix, realizing that we're being controlled and manipulated. Nothing is going to do it as quickly as raw food. Very thorough, and gives us that confidence to be the hero of our own life and to be on the hero's journey. Because what does the hero have to do on their journey? They have to face their fears, to realize who they are and who they're going to become. Facing our fears is the best thing we can possibly do. Take it on. Take it on. Just say yes. We don't have to know how to face our fears and to heal ourselves or to go on a healing journey. All we have to do is say yes. The hero is eternally reluctant, eternally flawed. We're heroes that we're flawed. It's okay. So all we have to do is say yes. And that will break us free from the mainstream narrative, wake us up in this illusion, and give us incredible spiritual access and power. Raw food has been my savior, and I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful.
Thank you so much, Shane. So, since Shane is a coach and a mentor for detoxing and raw foods, does anyone have any questions? He has a specialty, and
Yeah,
yes.
please ask questions. I'm happy to answer any questions. Yes.
I wasn't sure if she was going first.
Yeah. Who wants? You want to go first, ladies?
What do you have to say about people's tendency to kind of like go all or nothing, like go hard on fasting and then crash and like eat everything?
Yeah, everybody does that. I think it's okay, right? Everybody does that because we're experimenting. So the hero is reluctantly flawed on our journey of self-discovery. It's okay to try and fail. It's okay to crash and burn. All we have to do is recommit to the journey. We don't have to actually be successful. We don't have to know how to be successful. All we have to do is recommit to the journey. The journey is self-discovery. The journey is failing, because failure will teach us more about our success than being successful. So I really encourage people as a coach, I encourage people to not be afraid to fail and to just go at it. Say yes, just say yes. That leads us down the path of personal self-discovery more than anything. So perfection is never the goal. There is no such thing, and it's okay to fail,
Yeah, so one way of asking this is, how do you stay ripped as a vegan? Another one is in the path of detoxification, I found that I've dropped a lot, like fasting and juice feasting and all of this, but I haven't really been able to keep muscle. So if you could just speak to that.
I love that. Thank you. I really was hoping we'd get to talk about muscle mass and building muscle as a raw vegan a little bit, because I'm really passionate about it. Utilization of food is number one, so we have to have a clean gut. So we either have to be raw vegan for years to have a clean gut, or do a juice fast to make sure there's no digestive interference. So that's step number one, is we have to make sure we're absorbing the food we're eating properly. And then it's about exercise. It's about hypertrophy. If we put our body under weight, under load, under stress, like as a man, just lift weights. Okay? If you lift weights as a raw vegan, you're going to put on muscle. Great question. Great question. I was addressing a gentleman who was...
I wasn't criticizing.
Yeah, no. So he's interested in why I have muscle mass. I'm 100% raw vegan, have been for 4 years. I've got excellent muscle mass. So he's interested in that. So we all benefit from lifting weights. I'm a huge proponent. Women need to lift weights too. So women can focus on doing the things that make them excited, like, booty, get your booty popping, right? So all the things that women are excited about. That's squats. You gotta lift free weights, it's called. So free weights are life-changing, because for one, it gives us that mental control. And then when we see the results of our body responding to the weights, it gives us the biggest boost in confidence and purpose in our life. I coach people, I make YouTube videos, I create lots of content online. I have to show up in a high level of leadership for people who are looking to me for leadership. How do I do that? Because I have to have leadership in my life. If I don't have a guiding North Star of personal leadership, I have no way to perform in my life as people need me to. So lifting weights is the way to do that, male or female, absolutely. But as men, it's particularly a confidence boost.
What are the protein needs if you are lifting weights?
Yeah, that's a great question. I love that. So to be physically fit and to look fit, to look ripped as a raw vegan, eat 100% raw food, no cooked fats, no starches. Get our protein from the protein-rich raw food sources. So chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds are my 3 go-to. Okay, so from there, I mean, even dates, like a big fat juicy medjool date's got like 2 grams of protein. I only put 5 of those in your smoothies. It's 10 grams of raw protein. It's so bioavailable. It's also really important to realize that we don't need a lot of protein. We need to absorb the amino acids that we are eating. So all food, fruits, greens, all of our food is filled with amino acids, the building blocks of all life. So when we digest and absorb that food properly, when we're cleaned out and we're consistently raw, we're gonna absorb all the amino acids. I don't need a lot of protein. My physique comes from consistently eating like probably 65% carbs, 15% protein, 20% fat, approximately. All raw foods, fruits, nuts and seeds, salads. And then I work out. I work out, like I said, because my mind is my most valuable asset. I have to be in control of my mind to be the leader that I want to be in the world and to promote raw foods. I want to and I want to be a good example of that. So my fitness is part of how I represent the raw vegan movement properly. I don't want to represent the raw vegan movement and not be a good example.
Thank you so much, Shane. Thank you